So first of all, I'll just define the text views that we are going to need. First one is the welcome. Then we have a text view for name, then email, and then for the registered date. Alright, and then we have to define one Firebase auth variable. And then finally we have to use a progress bar. So I'll just define progress bar also. And then getting inside the onCreate method, I'll just define one find views method. Under this method, I'll bind all the views with their respective variables. Alright, then let's define one method signOut, and let's create this method. Since it is not returning anything, it is also a void method. And then within the method, I'll just define the sign out button, because we need the sign out button to sign out the user. And then we have to set one on-click listener on this button. And when the user clicks on this button, we just want to sign out the user. Alright. And also before finding and binding the views, we have to initialize this auth variable. So I'll quickly do that. Alright. And then after the user has been signed out successfully, we can display one toast message. And then we can just close this user profile activity and return back to the main activity. And to prevent the user from going back to the user profile activity on pressing back button, I'm going to set the flags with the intent just the way we have done it in register activity. So I'll just quickly open register activity. And under the onComplete method, we had set the flags with the intent. So I'll just copy those flags. Then coming inside the user profile activity, I'll just add those flags here. And then we can just start the activity. Alright, let's run the app. Let's log in. And the login was successful. Let's click on sign out. And the user is signed out. And if we click on back button, app is closing and the user profile activity is not opening up. So that is what I wanted. Now the next thing is to set up the text views in order to display the details or the data of the user. So first of all, we will define a Firebase user variable, and then using the auth variable, we will get the current user. Alright, then using if statement, I'll just check if the Firebase user is null or not. In case the Firebase user is not null, we can set the text views to display the data or the details of the user. So let's start with the progress bar. And I'll just call show user profile method. And I'll just pass Firebase user variable here. In the else part, in case the user is not available or user is null, we can just display one toast message. Now let's create the show user profile method. And we will start by obtaining the metadata of the user object. The metadata contains the user's registered date as well as the time. So since I want to display the registered date of the user, we have to use the metadata. So just write Firebase user metadata space metadata equals Firebase user dot get metadata. And then we have to get the registered date of the user, and for that I will use long type variable. So just type long register timestamp equals metadata dot get creation timestamp. This will return the exact timestamp of the user creation. Then we have to define a pattern for the date. There are various different patterns available. So it's string date pattern equals capital E, comma, DD, space MMMM, space YYYY, space HH, colon MM, space A, space Z. So this will display the day, comma, the date with 2 digits, then month, then year, and then the time, which is 12-hour clock with AM or PM. And then finally the Z is for the time zone. Then just use SimpleDateFormat space SDF equals new SimpleDateFormat within bracket date pattern. Date pattern is the variable which is containing the string for the pattern that we have created or we have defined. Then SDF dot set time zone within bracket time zone dot get default. This will get the default time zone of your machine. Then string register equals SDF dot format within bracket new date. Then again another bracket register timestamp. Alright, now we have to import date. Import the first one which comes under java.utils, not the java.sql. Alright, then string register date equals get resources dot get string within bracket r dot string dot user since. Now user since is not a string as of now, and we are specifying it as a string which is under strings.xml, so we will have to define it. Anyways, just add comma space register. And then getting inside under values folder, we have this strings.xml. Just open it up. And then we'll just define one string. Name equals user underscore since. Then we can add any string that we want to be displayed along with the user creation date of the user. So I'll just write you are a registered user since then \n. This will create a new line space $1 So actually we are using placeholder here, and $1 means this placeholder will be replaced or needs to be replaced by the string that we have defined in our Java, and S signifies it will be a string that will replace this placeholder. So whatever value the variable register is holding will be placed inside the placeholder which we have defined in the string user since. And then finally we can just set this text in the text view register date which we have defined earlier. Let's run the app now. And you can see we have this text view at the bottom. You are a registered user since. This was the text that we have defined, and then the date, day and time is the data which we obtained from the user object of the Firebase, and that $1 has been replaced by this data. I hope you're getting it now. Then after that we have to set the text view for name and email. So I'll just define string name equals Firebase user dot get display name. Since we have saved the display name in the Firebase user object, so we can directly obtain it from the object. In the same way, I will obtain the email from the Firebase object. And then we can just set them in the text views. Alright, and also we can use placeholder to set the welcome message for the user. And here the welcome message will have the name of the user. Then we can just set the text view. And then we can make the progress bar gone. Alright, and let's log in into the app once again. And you can see in the welcome message, it is showing the name of the user, which is not hard coded. And then at the bottom, we have the details of the register date of the user. Alright, let's click on back button and we are back to the main activity. Anyways, so this completes this video. I hope you enjoyed learning how to create an Android app with Firebase. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. If you want to learn more about Firebase and you want to save data into Firebase database, that is the Firebase real-time database, as well as save the images in the Firebase cloud, and you want to display those data into your app, then there's another video of mine where I have created app where I have used most of the features of the Firebase, and in that video I'm saving the data into the real-time database as well as saving the display picture of the user in the Firebase storage. So if you want to learn more, you can go through that playlist of mine. The link is in the description, and if you like the video, give a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.